Hello everyone, I'm Kev360 and I will be running Cuphead. Cuphead is a run-and-gun shoot-'em-up game designed by Studio MDHR. I'm joined by Kurthar, another runner of this game. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Kirtar. I'm also runner of this game, and I also play this category. So yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, so without much... first of all, Pika, do you know who won the bid war?
Yes, I do. So let me just refresh, just make sure it's up to date. I can see that the one who won the bid war is Mugman at $92. So
Wonderful.
Mugman it will be.
Wonderful. And yeah, without further ado, let's go. Those who are handling the timer, I'll do a countdown. 3, 2, 1, and go. So I'm going to be starting off. There isn't much to the story. You get a cutscene, you skip it almost immediately. It's just about how they gambled their souls, you know, the usual stuff. You talk to Elder Kettle, you get a potion. It allows you to shoot from your fingers. And yeah, we'll be heading into the first run and gun, but first collecting these 3 coins. These 3 coins will help us buy the 2 weapons we're going to use, Roundabout and Lobber. And yeah.
Alright, so yeah, we're heading into the first stage here, which is gonna be Force Follies. You don't actually have to do these stages, but we're gonna need the money from this level here to buy the weapons we need. So we're gonna get 5 coins throughout the level, and
Whoops,
yeah, it's actually kind of tough, yeah, to get through this stage quickly.
I should just get all my deaths out of the way.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, there's a ton of enemies on the screen, and I mean, if you want to like dash as much as possible to get through, and it can sometimes mess you up, like how the enemy spawns. Sometimes it's a little bit RNG based, but now we're at the Acorn Maker here, and just gonna blast our way through here. On previous versions, you can actually like skip that part by clipping under the platform, but yeah, just getting through normally there.
Yeah, so we're finishing up with a time of 39. That's really good. In this version and category, you're hoping for a time underneath 40, and I've successfully got 39. So we'll be going into the shop and buying 2 weapons, Roundabout and Lobber. Although this is no major glitches, we'll be abusing a glitch to buy them. You press A and B at the same time to buy and leave the shop. It allows you just to get the weapons a bit faster. You'll see me just pulling up the menu to equip the weapons just before, and we'll be heading into the first boss, the Root Pack. And yeah.
Yeah, so just a small correction, we're not doing Roundabout Lobber, we're doing Spread and Lobber, because in... yeah, no worries. In current patch, that is one of the faster weapon combos you can start out with in this category. And yeah. So in Root Pack, we can actually skip the onion part by not shooting at him, and instead of crying, he's happy and just goes away. But we have to deal with the radish instead there, so we have to jump over it while we fight in the last phase, which is going to be the carrot. But yeah, we're just going to stand underneath the carrots at all times anyway, so shouldn't be a huge problem.
Yeah, and we finished that up really nicely, but with a rocky ending there. But still got a pretty good time, 44 seconds, that's definitely a good time. We'll be moving on to the next boss, Ribby and Croaks, both frogs, of course. And there isn't much else to say about it, apart from they're difficult, especially on this version. So yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, as you can see, probably you can recognize like these 2 frogs are kind of inspired by Street Fighter characters like Runekin. You can probably tell also by the attack of the topmost frog there, he's like punching like Hadokens at you, which is a pretty cool like reference to another game, in my opinion. But yeah, we're gonna try to deal enough damage here to like skip the second phase, hopefully. If we dealt enough damage, looks like it's good. Yeah, nice. So normally we would have to deal with more punches and more firefights, or yeah, another attack, basically, but we just skipped that because we dealt so much damage in the first phase. And now we have to, like, play the slot machine here in the last phase, and we're getting the balls here, which is... might be able to get the... This is the hardest one to do, because you can get this in one cycle, but it's very hard when you get the balls. So yeah, that was a pretty rough pattern to deal with, but yeah, we should be almost done there. Nice.
Yeah, that boss is arguably the one that most runners are most afraid of. It does kill a lot of runs, but I managed to get through it successfully. Though not with the nice time saves like the one cycle in the last phase. But I should be finishing up collecting their soul contracts, and off I go to Goopy Legrand. Goopy is one of my favourite bosses, but also one of the most difficult to get a good time on. But not difficult casually. And yeah.
Yeah, exactly, because Goopy, yeah, he's not a very hard boss, but it's pretty hard to optimize because he's jumping around a lot, and you have two, like, pretty short range weapons. You have to, like, keep up with him to, like, make your bullets connect all throughout. Yeah, other than that, there's actually not much else to talk about. He gets a little bit bigger in the second phase, but it's basically the same method as the first one. But in the last phase, when you're doing the transition, you want to go into him, and you want to do as many of those spread EXs as possible, because those deal some pretty good damage, and that should make short work of the last phase before he gets a chance to attack. And yep, that's a decent Goopy.
Yeah, I kind of messed up and did the wrong weapon EX there, but it doesn't lose too much time, just not as optimal as it could have been. We're moving on to Hilda, and I'd like to put extreme emphasis on... I know I've said all bosses are hard, but this one is the real hard one. I definitely struggled on it in my first playthrough, and I'm sure many of you have. It's difficult. There's a lot to worry about and a lot to think about. So we'll just go into the plain tutorial and we'll exit out immediately and move on to this boss. So yeah. So we'll be going here and doing a damage boost. A damage boost to, well, do more damage. It's gonna be really hard and tight, but there isn't much we should do. You sometimes see people going for nukes in this, but in this version patch, it's more optimal to just use regular plain EXs. And yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, I was out of the call for a bit there, some technical difficulties, but I'm back now. Yeah, anyway, yeah, this fight again, because you're doing these damage boosts, like, it can get a bit scary in the end there, because you're at 1 HP, and yeah, there's a bunch of stuff just trying to kill you. But yeah, we're heading into the last phase here, and gonna try to get as many, like, of those EXs to clip into these UFOs as possible. If you hit it in the right, like, angle, or, like, at the right, at the right spot, you can basically get them to get stuck inside the UFOs and then deal more damage to the boss. But yeah, still that's a pretty good fight.
Yeah, well, you're aiming for anything underneath 110, but that's like really, really high level. 111 is pretty solid too. And we'll be moving on to Cagney, or Flower Boy, as some people call it. Cagney is one of the most RNG dependent bosses in IL-1, but yeah, there isn't much else I'd like to say about it, so yeah.
Yeah, actually, there's not much else to talk about. Really, you just want to stand on this like front platform and just shoot with the lobber as much as possible. And getting the extended boy, as we call it, you want to like wait until he stretches out, and then you shoot with the spread a little bit while it's close to you. But yeah, I should be closing into the last phase pretty soon here, and by then you just want to keep standing on the front platform and shoot with spread as much as possible. And yeah, unleash some lobber EXs, because your spread EXs are not going to do a lot of good here.
Yeah. We do have a bit of downtime, so if there's anything you'd like to be read or said, go ahead, Pika.
All right, awesome. Thank you very much. I would like to remind everyone, to anyone who might have just come in here, that UKSG Spring 2021 is benefiting Crisis, who fight to end homelessness. And one of the things they do, for example, is carrying out pioneering research into the causes and consequences of homelessness and campaign for the changes needed to end it for everyone, for good. So all the donations will be going towards them 100%. And so it's amazing the amount we've managed to get so far throughout this marathon. So keep it going, everyone, and let's enjoy the rest of the marathon.
Yeah, so
awesome. Yeah, so Barons from Bonbon is a pretty RNG heavy fight, because you're gonna have to fight 3 mini bosses out of 5 possible ones. So there are some that you would like to see, and there are some you don't really want to see. So you got the Waffler, which is a pretty good one. Let's see what we get as the last one. We got a Cannon Corn, which is pretty fast to kill. No problem there. And last of all, we have to deal with the Baroness herself. You just stand underneath her and just use the spread and use EXs as much as we can. And yeah, that's the fight done.
yeah, we got some pretty nice RNG there, and especially at the end where Baroness didn't throw her head at us, which is really good. 45 seconds is a marvelous time. And we'll be moving on to, well, the first plane level with mini-bombs. You may have seen this category be done with a glitch called Luigi swaps, but here it's banned. It essentially just allows you to shoot while you're doing your EX weapon, but unfortunately here we can't do it, so we'll be doing it basically glitchless. And yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so here's Wally, which is not one of the harder plane bosses in the game. And yeah, you gotta watch out for the exit coming out at the start here. It can be kind of weird to try to dodge around them. And you really don't want to have him at the top when he's going to the last phase here, because it's gonna be really hard to deal with this next attack he's gonna do, which is just unleash a lot of Fadus that you have to dodge. Yeah, if you know the pattern, it's not too hard to dodge them. And for this baby bird phase, you just wanna stay close and take a damage boost there to keep staying close there while he's closing up his eggs. And after you kill the baby bird, you wanna do a pause and unpause, because that makes the last phase actually appear a few seconds quicker. So, I mean, why not do it? And just have to deal with the last phase here, which can be a bit tricky. That was not a good. You want him to go right there instead of left, because, like you saw, that you got trapped in the left corner there, and yeah, you hate to see it, but you still managed to get out of it.
Yeah, and especially on low HP, getting trapped in the corner is basically a nightmare. But at least we didn't get the worst possible RNG. We'll be moving on to Jijimi, a genie. There isn't much about this boss, apart from it's one of the biggest side-scrollers, surprisingly. It's difficult, and the first phase is basically RNG dependent.
Yeah, so DJ Imi the Great, yeah, it's like a really easy boss. Like, out of all the plane levels, this is probably the easiest one. You basically just shoot him. Like, he also has a big like hitbox, so it's not hard to hit to miss, or it's not hard to hit. So in this pillar phase here, you wanna shoot 5 normal bullets and then end it with a mini bomb to deal the optimal amount of damage, and this damage actually carries over to the next, over to the boss health, basically. So this is gonna make the next phase a bit shorter. So hopefully you won't have to deal with this sarcophagus phase for too long. There we go. And yeah, so next phase here, you can actually do a secret phase here. I don't know if Kev is gonna do it, but
I don't think I will. It requires a lot of practice, and I just haven't done that practice. It does save optimally maybe a second, but it's not really worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, it can be really tough, and you really just have to be on your toes, because the secret phase is like, you instead of fighting that big puppet, you actually get a small puppet that's just gonna mess you up during the last phase. But yeah, it can be really hard to handle unless you practice it or not. But yeah, so just gonna keep shooting Gimme until the end there, and yeah, that's the boss.
Yeah, I just
Not
picked
that
up water
interesting.
because at the end you can sort of sit there, but I got really bad triangle RNG and it shot a laser, so I would have died. But that was really close. And
Yeah,
we'll be
those can
moving on
trip you
to
out.
one of the harder bosses, but not the hardest. Beppy. Beppy is a clown in more ways than one.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That just pretty much sums it up. So during this first phase, he's in his bumper car, kind of moving like kind of erratically, like you don't really know which way it's gonna go. But yeah, getting a 2-cycle here is pretty good. You don't want to deal with this first phase for too long. So yeah, for the next phase, you're just gonna shoot at this balloon, and which is pretty easy to do because you have the spread. Just connect all the bullets, and then you're gonna fight one of these horses. But yeah, getting the yellow horses is not great because then you're gonna have to fight another one because sometimes you don't have enough time to finish it up like before he goes to the next cycle. But yeah, still going through nicely. And yeah, for the last phase here, it's gonna put up a lava trap, and all of these bullets that are on screen are just gonna hit the boss all at once, and that's a huge amount of damage. Yeah, just gonna stay inside the hitbox and just stay on these platforms so he doesn't get hit by those coaster there, and yeah.
Yeah.
Really nicely done.
One thing I'd like to mention is if you've seen runs of this category, you may have seen them done with pea shooter and spread. But with this next boss, it's kind of one of the main reasons people run with lava spread instead of pea shooter spread. It's really difficult with that weapon layout, but with lava, it's almost perfect. And we'll be moving on to the dragon. The dragon is really difficult. Like, Kev, do you want to tell them how difficult it is?
It is, yeah. Probably most casual players probably got stuck here and rage quit the game for a while. It's not the hardest. I wouldn't say it's the hardest boss in the game, but it's definitely up there. But yeah, you just have to stay on these platforms. There's no ground. You have to like have hope to the RNG gods that you get some good platforms here, because you can definitely get tripped up and fall into the pit there. But yeah, this is one of the reasons why Lobber is such a good weapon, because you don't really have to like stay like facing the boss all the time. You can kind of take shots at him, and you know the arc of the weapon just makes it so much easier, because you don't have to really aim it. But yeah, for the last phase here, this is the really tough one, because there's a lot of fireballs coming at you, and there's dang, yeah, that's a. They can really slap, and like those fireballs are really hard to avoid. And if you shoot at them, as you saw, like they split up into 4 different like projectiles going in every direction, and yeah, that's just makes it even harder. So
yeah,
but yeah, this is much easier than using pea shooter. I can tell you that much at least, because yeah, pea shooter can very easily shoot those fireballs and just really trip you up. But yeah, just kind of keep using the lobber, stay safe, and just hope you get some decent cloud RNG here so you don't fall down. And just use EXs whenever possible.
Yeah, so we do have a bit of downtime here, so if there's anything you'd like to be said or read out, go ahead.
That is certainly possible. As you may know, at UKSG, we've got quite a few incentives going on, and you can check them out by typing each up !incentives, I believe. For instance, later on, there will be, for instance, a difficulty choice for the Return to Castle Core Dead run. But what I'm thinking especially, after all this run, had a very intense bid war about whether to be for Cuphead or Mugman. And so I'm thinking, with the weather getting warmer and warmer, we all need to stay hydrated. So whether you prefer to drink in a cup or in a mug, what's your favorite way of staying hydrated? Whether it be one of those.
Very, very nice segue there.
All right. Yeah, Rumor Honeybottoms is the boss we're fighting, and yeah, from one RNG like platform RNG boss to another, this one can be a lot worse because depending on what kind of platforms you get here, you see some of the platforms don't appear. You can really trip you up, and you won't be able to deal like uphill damage with the spread shot, which has very short range. And all right.
Yeah.
That's the boss.
I did it kind of fast there. I got really good RNG there. You were ideally hoping for middle. I went into a thesaurus once and looked up Dr. Carl, our next boss. Under synonyms was bullet hell. This next boss is going to be absolute bullet hell, but it is manageable. Most of it is just patterns, but it's hard. There's no two ways about it. Even top runners struggle with this boss. And yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this boss is, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a casual player or a speedrunner, this is gonna be tough either way. So first of all, you want to take out all of the 3 parts here. Often you want to use the bomb to like hit the lower parts, because the splash damage actually hits both of them at the same time. So that speeds it up a little bit. And yeah, heading into the next, we're just gonna skip the second phase basically with a nuke, so that makes this part a little bit easier, like, or yeah, getting to the last phase a lot faster. But yeah, here comes the bullet hell. You just have to dodge it all and try to hit your bullets at the same time, and try to get parries so you can do some nukes as well.
Oh, that was stressful.
Oh my god, okay.
I was completely focused, but that was stressful. I got a really good time there. Wow. 56 is a really good time. I think the world record's like 50 or something, which is, no, like 48, which is quite amazing. And we'll be moving on to Sally. Sally is, you'll see. You'll see.
Yeah, it's yeah, there's some stuff about this boss. Like, you want to do a damage boost later on in the fight. You want to try to not take any hits like early on, which can be pretty hard to do sometimes. There's a lot of stuff that can trip you up and damage you very easily. So it's gonna line up for like a double damage lobber here, which is what happens if you like shoot the ground and the boss at the same time, like at an angle like that. Then the splash damage from the ground and the direct hit to the boss actually both deal damage. So yeah, very good second phase there. So for this angel phase, he's gonna damage boost through the attack here to just keep dealing damage. Like normally you would just use the meteor to like spawn a parry to get over that thing there, but yeah.
Ooh, I messed up my swaps there at the end. I was using the wrong one. That did not do as much damage, and that was kind of slow because of that. But still, 59 is a pretty good time. And we'll be moving on to Werner Werman, the rat who smokes, as some people call it. It's honestly one of my favorite bosses in the game, and it's not too difficult as well, but I probably shouldn't jinx it, just in case. And
oh yeah, absolutely. Don't underestimate Werner. I mean, he is a pretty easy boss, like objectively, but he can easily trip you up and just decide that today is not the day that he goes down. But yeah, you just want to try to stay close here during the first phase. Try to do as much spread damage as possible. Just use lobber if you have to back away for a bit. going to the second phase here, you wanna watch out for the flames and also the bottle caps on the side here. Playing really risky here, dang. Alright, going to the last phase here. Turns out that the cat actually eats the rat here in true Tom and Jerry fashion. So you want to watch out for the paws here, which is going to come up to the side there, but you can actually sit like in the center and just jump over it and use an EX. Yeah.
And like
The rat was
every
the cat.
yes, like every good plot twist that a story has. And we'll be moving on to Briny. Briny in my opinion is the most RNG dependent boss. You can lose upwards of 16 seconds or save 16 seconds. It all comes down to RNG. And yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, is always gonna use the gun to start out with, but after that it can be any attack at all, and there's some attacks that you really don't want to see here. So let's just see what we're gonna get. Alright, we got the squid here, that's a really good one. Those like ink drops don't actually hurt you, but they do make the screen darker if you get hit by it. And we get another gun here, and yeah, that's a good recycle right there. So we're just gonna head into the last phase here, and just gonna keep shooting with Lobber here, and use as many EXs as possible, and hopefully we won't get to see the laser. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. That was actually, I think, the best RNG pattern I could have gotten. Maybe one thing could be changed, but that was a really solid fight there. And we'll be moving on to Kala. Some things can be said about Kala, but one thing that anyone can say is that Kala's hard. Especially with the last phase, which will see an interesting strategy. And yeah.
Do you think we would have time for a quick donation?
Sure, go ahead.
Alright, amazing. We've got a $14 donation from Laser Trap, who, those of you who may have been here before may remember, just ran LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga right before Cuphead, with a comment saying, $2 per death in my run, as promised. I had a blast and I hope to be back in future UKSG events. Good luck on Cuphead. This is one of those games that I can't even fathom how much skill is needed, and I'm hooked on this run. So Laser Trap, thank you very much for your donation. We really appreciate it. And we hope you'll be enjoying the rest of the event.
Alright, awesome. So yeah, we're heading into the third phase here. Oh, she did another attack, okay.
Yeah, that was kind of unoptimal, but I kind of did a EX at the wrong time there.
Yeah, I thought for sure she was gonna transition there, but never mind. Yeah, we're gonna do a damage boost here, or not, because you actually killed the second phase with all that damage you did in the first phase. That's nice. So yeah, for this last phase, you just wanna hug her face, basically, because you can't get hit by anything she shoots out. You just have to pay attention to, like, the spikes that are coming out from behind her.
And yeah, finishing up really nicely. That second phase did not exist. I did so much damage, which I kind of wasn't expecting to do. I haven't actually seen that before, in my runs or anyone else's. And we'll be moving on to the train. The train is hard. There's all bosses, different hitboxes. It's hard to optimize and hard to do. It definitely has stomped a lot of runners in their first playthrough. But I'll be trying my best, because it's difficult.
Yeah, this is, like, this whole fight in itself is just very unique, because you're standing on a platform that you can move on your own by pairing like one of the wheels on the either end. But the other thing about this platform is that those pumpkins that are dropping, like those bricks or soap or whatever it is, they can actually also move the cart by like dropping one of those things on there. And I think Kev is gonna go for a one cycle here on the skeleton. Didn't quite get it, but I think it's almost dead. Alright, good stuff right there. So we're gonna head into the third phase here, which is gonna be the lollipops, or I don't really know what they are, like ghost lavapots or something. Yeah, ultimately we want to try to kill them like as close to each other as possible, like pretty much at the same time. Yeah, that was a really optimal kill right there. And for this last phase here, we have to parry the tail of this train here, and before we can actually deal any damage to it. And while the heart is open, there's like a lot of flames coming out of it, which are pretty much random, so it makes it pretty risky to like get close with the spread. Yeah, Kev manages to eke that one out.
Yeah, that was relatively close there. Yeah, so if you got anything that'd like to be read out, go ahead now. This is probably the last chance in the run you'll get.
Alright, I certainly can do that. Well, I would like to use this opportunity to extend UKSG's thanks towards ESA, from whom, you know, the actual events are hosted on, as you can see, because, well, we're watching this on the ESA channel. And in case anyone is not aware, ESA will be hosting 2 Break the Record Live events in the next few weeks, including Break the Record Live Minecraft, which will be next weekend, and Break the Record Live Super Mario Sunshine on the 28th of May. So there's definitely a lot of speedrunning content beyond this UKSG event to look forward to this month, and I hope you'll be enjoying all of it.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this boss fight, and I kind of need to focus, so I'll let Perfar explain what's going on.
Yes, so for this first like mini boss that we're fighting, Mr. Wheezy, you wanna like stay behind him as much as possible. To be sure to like use your spread as much as possible there, but it does require you to take like a damage boost there, which makes the rest of the fight a little bit scarier. But yeah, I don't know if you're going for 4 or 5 here, but okay, 4. Yeah, cool. So we get a heart back. There was a heart on that spot right there, which is pretty lucky. So we get 1 HP back. So for Dominoes here, we just try to stay close, deal as much damage as possible. I watch out for the spikes, and yeah, just try to use spread as much as possible. But yeah, to explain like this whole boss fight, you're basically like getting across like a game board. You're rolling a dice to like get to different spots on the board, and for every like number there's a different mini-boss, so we're trying to use like the most optimal path here, because there's always the same mini-boss in every like number. Yeah, we're gonna go to the 8th ball, which is on number 8, of course, which is the easiest mini-boss of all of these, fortunately. And it's really fast to kill with the spread, because you can just stay close like all the time and not miss a single bullet very much. But these like billiard cubes or whatever, I don't know what the name of them, like those jumping things, but yeah, they can trip you up as well, but usually they're pretty easy to avoid. So yeah, after that we just wanna get to the end and fight King Dice himself. Yeah, you really have to have your parry game on. Like you really need to be good at parrying to do this. But yeah, speedrunners, it's just second nature basically.
Oh, that was kind of scary there, but I did survive somehow.
Yeah.
We'll be moving. I didn't mean to take 2 hits there on the cigar, but I suppose I did, so there's nothing I can do about it. Well, we got the 0 HP bonus, which saves 0.8 seconds, but apart from that was pretty good. So we'll be moving on to the Devil. The Devil himself, this is the last boss, and those who are manning the timer, be aware, you'll see a big white splash text saying a knockout, and that's when to stop the time.
Right, yeah, Devil, last boss. So yeah, this is a tough one. There's a bunch of different attacks you can use in the first phase here, and there's a specific one that I don't want to mention, and he does it right away. This spider attack is just really annoying because there's a lot of downtime here where you can't really shoot like the head or spider, but you got a short pattern there, so it wasn't too bad. And the clap, just jump over an EX, no biggie. And Bubbles is one I really want to see. This is a good one to get. So yeah, we're heading into the hole here, down to hell, gonna keep fighting the devil. And we're gonna do a pause buffer here to like be able to start shooting, because you cancel a like an animation that Mugman is doing, where he's like standing still, being scared. So you save a couple seconds by doing that pause in the transition there. But yeah, you just wanna just keep shooting the eyes as much as possible here. Use the spread, which makes deals a lot of damage here too if you stay close. And watch out for the poker chips and everything else is coming at you.
That's time. So yeah, that's it. That's Cuphead for you, beaten in 34. Well, I'm not entirely sure what it says on the timer on the layout, but my timer says 34 minutes and 50 seconds. And if you're wondering what that is loadlessly on the leaderboards, that's 33:16. A great run. I'd like to quickly just thank Kev360 for hopping in on commentating on such short notice. And yeah, that's all.
Yeah, GG's, man. Really
Yeah,
good run.
that was a pretty
Alright.
good run.
Well, yeah, congratulations on this run. I think everybody here enjoyed it. Unless you've got any last thing to say, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
I'd quickly just like to thank the Cuphead speedrunning community. I haven't been here from the very start, but I've been here for about a year, and they've answered all my questions, and they're really great. And Cuphead is one of my favorite. I think it's one of the best speed games, but everyone says that about their favorite speed games. So if you do wanna, if you got interested in Cuphead speedrunning, just check speedrun.com. It's really fun. Thank you guys.
All right, thank you for those closing words. Right up next, after this run, we're going to be moving on to Poradaria 2, Patriot of the Night, 100% by Cross. So definitely get excited for that. We'll be getting that after a short intermission. And also, I will be closing off as a host, and I will be followed upon by Viper himself. So definitely, it will be in good hands, I dare say, very good hands. So thank you, everyone, and we'll be seeing you after a short intermission. Cheers.
Bye.